Welcome back to the menu.
Welcome back to the main menu of Hollow Knight.
Yeah.
Today we're going to be looking at the four...
The four profiles.
This is stupid. Okay, anyway, so look. I just wanted to point out again that this has changed yet again. There are two notable things. Number one, I did a speed run of this game. 100% speed run. It took me 8.5 hours. I finished that off last night. But number two, I have now completed this game 112%, which is the maximum percentage you can do. For those of you wondering at home, no, I haven't done Pantheon 5. That can go die, I don't care. Because that is not required for 112%.
Oh.
Oh man, these are such nice charms. You don't need that one though. You do want that one. How much money do we have?
Like Wayward Son.
The Wayward Compass, you mean?
There's a song called Wayward Son.
Carry on my Wayward
Carry on Wayward Son by Kansas.
Yeah.
That's a nice song.
It is a nice song. You know, a lot of people know that song exclusively from Supernatural.
Oh, okay. I've never seen Supernatural.
I have watched like 2 seasons.
Oh. When Supernatural was on TV, I always saw it as it's basically Twilight but a series, and that's what made me not want to watch it, because it's like it's the pretty boys doing with powers.
You're not wrong.
Stuff like that.
It's a little more self-aware than Twilight is.
Okay.
Twilight takes itself very, very seriously.
Oh yeah.
It's very moody and angsty, while as Supernatural falls more into the category of Doctor Who.
Okay.
Well, I mean, there was a thing on Tumblr for a long time. It was called Super Who-Lock, which was where all the fandoms converged of Doctor Who, Supernatural, and Sherlock. I don't know if you've watched Sherlock.
No, I have. I saw one bit actually. I saw one where does Sherlock fall off a building, or is it Moriarty that falls off a building?
It
was supposed to be like the last episode.
No,
of
Sherlock
the season
does. Sherlock does.
Yeah, I thought it was Sherlock that does.
It's the cliffhanger. It's sort of like a huge.
That's
huge
all I'd
thing.
seen of it, and I thought, oh yeah, it's all right. I like it.
Yeah, I can dig with people falling off buildings.
Yeah, but I mean,
fuck with
I
that.
sort of get the idea of the show, and I like what they did with it. But I'm not a big mystery guy.
Fuck.
So.
Really?
Yeah.
I like a good mystery.
The kind of mysteries that I like are the Scooby-Doo mysteries.
Do you really like Scooby-Doo mysteries? Because I
Yes.
fucking hate them.
That was like the same thing every time, but I just like all the characters doing their thing.
It's so unbearably repetitive, but you know,
Yeah.
fine.
But when you're 5 years old, you don't think that it's repetitive.
Well, that's the
It's
thing
just
I
like,
was-
this is what I like. I know it's the same. This is why I like it.
Yeah, if it's when we were 5 years old, I got no problems. But,
Yeah.
but
When you're 25 years old.
yeah, when you're 25, I'm like, Scooby-Doo. Did you know that there was a new Scooby-Doo movie that came out and it sucked? Anyway,
Oh, yeah.
that's not news.
Do, isn't it called Do? Or Scoob?
Yeah, it's called Scoob.
Not called Do.
Yeah, we were talking about Supernatural though. I respect the show, I really do. But the reason I watched it is because someone told me to watch it, which is never a good start. You can't tell me to do anything; I'll just immediately reject it. As a lot of people will. The more someone tells you need to watch something or consume some kind of media, the less they'll be inclined to do so.
Yeah.
That's just a fact.
Oh,
But I watched it anyway.
yeah.
And I watched like the first like 2 I watched like almost all of season 1 in like one night, right? Which is unheard of for me, right?
Yeah.
But I did it for this friend because they were like, you need to watch it so I can talk to you about it. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And so I did. I watched all of season 1, and they were like, so did you watch it? I'm like, yeah, I watched all of season 1. They're like, oh, so you're not up to season 4 yet? I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Season 4? I'm like, no. And he's like, oh, well, season 4 is when it gets really good. I'm like, what?
Yeah, right.
Season 4? And she's like, yeah, that's when they added a character. I'm like, what? So anyway, I never finished watching Supernatural because there's no way in hell I was going to get that far.
Yeah.
They do introduce one of the main characters, like a fan favorite at that point.
Yeah.
But by the way, I just defeated one of the most annoying fucking bosses in the game.
The Collector.
He falls into the category of what I call the Sage bosses,
Okay.
which basically, we'll get into it later.
What you
but,
call it then? No one else calls it that.
some people might.
When you say that, You don't like people telling you to do something.
Well, most people don't. Like,
No.
if someone's like, "You gotta watch this show, dude," or whatever, it's so good, and you're like, "Haha, yeah, okay, I'll check it out." And then they're like, "Have you seen it yet?" And you're like, "Well, no, not yet. I'm planning on it." And like, "Dude, you have to watch it. You'll love it."
Yeah.
And then you'll be like, "Okay, that's fine." And then like they just keep going on and on and on and on and on and on and on, and eventually you're just like, "I don't want to watch this stupid fucking show,
Yeah.
or play this stupid game, or read this fucking book."
Yeah.
I think that happens with everyone,
Yeah.
personally.
So, this thing's about Formula One.
Okay, here
Of
we
course
go.
it is.
Yeah.
And
Let me just indulge in it shit while you.
yep.
Okay.
So the silly season in motorsport is always what driver's going to what team, stuff like that, for the next season. And so in Formula One, it's all about George Russell, who drives for Williams, and is also his manager is Toto Wolff, who runs Mercedes, just like the championship winning team, the best team. And Mercedes' current drivers are Lewis Hamilton, who's a 7-time world champion, kind of the greatest driver of all time, and
Just
his,
kinda dropping that out there,
and his
just letting you know.
teammate is Valtteri Bottas, who has been a reliable driver in the other car, getting podiums, getting the occasional race win, stuff like that, which is good for the team and helps them win the constructors championship.
Winning races helps you with just in general in Formula One. Are you kidding me?
But
This is new intel. Fuck.
it's widely believed that George Russell will be driving for Mercedes in 2022.
No.
And what it got a little bit like there's so much fanfare about it, like George Russell better be driving for Mercedes and stuff like that. And this one guy on YouTube,
This
After-
one fucking guy.
so like George Russell's managed to score points 2 races in a row. One at Hungary, where Valtteri Bottas crashed into 6 cars and took him out, and so made it pretty easy for George Russell to get points. And then at Spa, where he qualified on the front row of the grid after wet qualifying, and because the race didn't even happen, they just did 2 laps behind a safety car, so they weren't even going at speed. They then declared that the race was finished and that they could award points, but they only awarded half points, but awarding points at all. And people, there was just this one guy on YouTube saying, "Toto, sign him up," and that still pisses me off. It's like, don't tell Toto Wolff what to do. Don't tell anyone what to do. It's like, it's already happening, and I know that this person's attention seeking and stuff like that, and I'm just like, I already hate this person so much now. I think I've seen one of his videos. He's called Perspective, and I like what he's done, but I really hate that.
People, sometimes they will say, they do it in your best interests. Yeah, people just don't like being told what to do. It's just really as simple as that. I mean, there are some people who do, I suppose, but for the most part, they don't. I was gonna say, I definitely have a problem with authority, but like that is just straight up not true.
No.
In my head, I do, but in real
Yeah.
life, I don't. If that makes sense. Like if
I
someone's
like-
like, "You should do this," I'm like, "Don't fucking tell me what to do."
Yeah.
In my head, but in real life, I'd be like, "Yes, sir. You got it."
I like
Fuck.
I like respect. I like when someone like tells me what to do and says thank you.
Yeah.
I love that. It's
They
like,
usually do.
yes, you're fucking welcome. Thank you.
But what I mean is, like, yeah, when anyone's like, "Oh, you'll watch this, you'll like it," you're like, you don't know me." Even if like they do know you, definitely. And I get it as well. I'm sometimes on the other end of that. Where I'm like, "Dude, you should watch this. It's really good." And they're like, "Yeah, okay." And I'm like, "All right, I'm not going to push it any further."
Yeah.
But I know for a fact you will probably like
Yeah.
this, but they don't watch it or whatever. And I'm like, that's fine.
As
Although, there is one instance where it really, really, really pisses me off. Again, it's something that pisses me off in my head. I don't actually act on it. When you go, "Hey, you should watch this. You will like it," and then they go, "Yeah, okay," and then they don't, because why would they? No. Usually the reason is because it's like, "Hey, watch this thing," and it's like, I'm kind of busy right now, and
Yeah.
you gotta kind of reschedule everything to do it. Anyway,
Yeah.
is when you go, "Hey, watch this. You'll like it," and they go, "Yeah, whatever," and then like some amount of time later, they come to you. And they're like, "Hey, I watched this thing. It's so good. You should check it out." And then you go, "Yeah, I fucking showed it to you."
Yeah.
Has that ever happened to you? Because it happens to me.
I don't think so. No, I've had relatives come and like show me something I'm like, I showed you this years ago.
Yeah, I was literally like, it was someone, Simon's Cat. It was back when Simon's Cat was not a massive, huge phenomenon.
Okay.
I showed it to someone. I was like, I literally sent them a link to one of the videos. It's like 1 minute long. I'm like, hey, check this out. You'll like it. And they're like, yeah, all right. And then they didn't because, you know, why listen to me? Dude, I'm so salty today. And then literally, like a month later, they send me a link and we're like, yo, check this out. This is the best shit. And I'm like, I sent that to you. So I try and make an effort when someone's like, hey, watch this, to be like, all right, I'll watch it. Maybe I won't watch it immediately, but I'll try.
Yeah. At work, we usually try to, like, I think because there's a few of us who are into the same sort of stuff. So when Loki was out, there were a few of us watching that, and so, partially so we could talk about it at work, and be like, hey, I watched the latest episode, and just talk about it a little bit. So like that's okay. I don't mind that, and there's always someone who's ahead of the other one. And I've got a workmate who watches Formula One. And I introduced him to MotoGP. I said, hey, you should like have a look at MotoGP.
Yeah.
This last race was really good. Just watch like this little bit. And he did, and he thought it was great. And so like, but he hasn't watched the last race, and that's okay because like I'm not gonna make someone do something that they don't want to do.
Well, that's the thing. Like,
but like he watched Formula One. Like he found Formula One before he knew me, so
yeah.
it's like that's fine.
It all works out in that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's sort of my thing. Is right. It's like I'll tell them once, but I won't push it because the last thing I want is for them to resent it or whatever. It's September now, dude.
Yes, it is September.
Can you believe that it's like already almost the end of the year?
I'm very much aware that it's almost the end of the year.
Yeah.
That's why I'm working hard, getting my grandma's biography done. I've been chipping away at it.
Oh, yeah.
On the weekends, I go bam, 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 and take big chunks out of it.
Man, thank you, man.
Yeah. Now it's getting.
Get on the floor and drain.
We gotta talk to her and say, hey, how do we want to structure this? Do you want everything to be in it? Because we can do that. But like, I don't know.
You need an editor to go through it.
We need to, like, because it's her story, and I want her to be the one that says this is what I want my story to be. And so I just want to know, as the person who's like writing the thing, to be like, alright, let's make sure that all of these things gets talked about. So like various relatives and stuff like that, and various friends, that they get the proper treatment of being like, you know, this person's grandma's cousin or something, and this is what they did and stuff like that.
Well, I'll tell you what, when you write my biography, you can keep it all in. Alright, bye.